right, we're going to be doing braised beef short ribs for my big game party tomorrow. And you can see these are beautiful, beautiful short ribs, all beef, all natural. Got these babies at Whole Foods. And here are some of the ingredients that we will be cooking with: paprika, salt and pepper mixture, cayenne pepper, give it a little bit of kick, kosher salt, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of olive oil. One of my go-to all-time favorites, Maker's Mark. These will be bourbon flavored beef short ribs. Already peeled garlic. I have to cut this onion, and we're gonna do this in this big Instapot. Should take about an hour to cook and approximately 20 minutes to do all this prep work. Now that we have beautifully seasoned the beef ribs using the salt and pepper here, okay, we get these nice and seasoned on all sides, and we can rub these in here, get those nice and seasoned, already pre-seasoned some of them. So we get these nice and seasoned. All right, a little bit more salt and pepper on these babies. There we go. Now we're going to turn the Instapot on to saute. So let's just press this, and when this gets nice and hot, we will add some olive oil and start braising these short ribs here. And in the meantime, it just beeped on, so it's going to take a few minutes to get hot. So while that's getting hot, you can actually use this time to prepare other side dishes. As this is going to be for our tomorrow's big game event, the side dishes we're going to prepare later, but it's going to be cheesy polenta and salad and dips and guacamole and chips and all of that. This will be the main dish. Leftovers will be probably used the next day in tacos. All right, so it's going to be time to add some olive oil. I use olive oil from Spain. It's certainly, it is, in my opinion, it is absolutely one of the best olive oils in the world. It's also a lot cheaper than a lot of the gourmet stuff, and it is all natural from Spain, where a lot of the best olive oil in the world does come from. And I lived in Spain, so I continue to enjoy using Spanish olive oil in all of my cooking dishes, salads, and whatnot. So we're going to let this continue to heat up just a wee bit more, and then we're going to put these babies in there in time to braise them. So while the Instapot is warming up and heating up the oil before we braise, we're going to slice an onion that will be added after the braising and before the deglazing. And all of that we will show you. So I don't like peeling onions. I could have done that off camera, but c'est la vie. All right, so let's just peel some of this skin off here. All right, nice thick slices here. All right, get some nice big thick juicy slices of this onion. All right, and we should be fine now with the braising. So we're going to now take a couple of these at a time, and we're going to braise these babies in here. Going to do that about 2 to 3 minutes on each side for all 9. 3 at a time. When these are done, we'll put them aside on another plate. All right, you can certainly now see all of these guys in here. Okay, we got 3 in here. I just put these in. We're gonna let them braise here. You can hear that oil sizzle. Those ribs are sizzling. So we want to get them really good and browned on all sides. Okay, and when these guys are done, this batch, we're then going to add the next batch and so on till we get these nice and braised. All right, so let's see here what we have. Yeah, so they're getting a color. Still a few more minutes. Yeah, definitely a few more minutes on each side here. All right. Okay, now we can start turning these babies over. Okay. There we go. Look at this nice coloration here. All right, so we're going to turn this guy over. And we got one more. All right, so this is going to sit here for, again, a couple more minutes, and then I'll have to get the other sides. We want all sides braised, and you're going to see we're going to have to braise these sides as well. But these need a couple more minutes. All right, it's almost getting time to flip these babies over on their sides so we could braise those corners. So I'm going to do that while filming here, and I'll show you as soon as I have them flipped. So let's kind of take a look. Here we've had these now flipped onto this side. Okay, I still have to do the other side to take those out. And when we're done braising these will be placed on another tray, and then the next batch will go in. And while this is simmering and braising, my little doggy here, Milo, he was part of the filming crew earlier, but I guess he passed out. All right, still a little bloody, but I'm going to turn those around and around so you can start seeing how they're getting braised. All right, we'll be back when we have to put the next batch in. All right, so we can see now. All right, we can see now we have all but one side braised. So we're going to just turn these around in here and get those braised, and then move them out into the next one. All right, so gonna remove those, put them aside here. Okay, these are nice and braised. Beautiful. And now we're gonna add some more beef ribs. There we go. I think with the size of this Instapot, I could probably add more than 3 at a time, and it can kind of speed this up. I didn't realize we have 2 Instapots. We just got this one recently. The other one is much smaller, and so certainly we can do more in here. All right, so we got now 6 of those ribs in this big old pot, and now these guys are gonna braise while these rest. And when these are done, then we're going to go into with the onions, the deglazing, the rest of the spices. All right, we could hear, certainly we could hear the braising continuing in the Instapot. You get a really good look there. And I'm going to put the microphone really close so you can hear that. So that is really the Instapot doing its job. I'm just turning these over. You'll see them in a moment. Here, I'm turning them over to finish the braising here. It's been a few minutes already, and they are really starting to smell good. So I'm gonna take these babies out and start placing them down here, and you'll see that I'm taking each of them out. All right, here's another one. I'm just putting these guys right down here, and then the next step here is going to be adding the onions and some more spices, because we won't forget we've already salt and peppered these babies. Now we got one more in here. So it's the last of the beef ribs are down here, and the next step here is we're going to be adding the onions. So here are all the braised ribs that we've done. Okay, so all of these are really nice and braised, nice coloration. And we have the pot going. You could hear that still. So we're going to just drop these really thick onion pieces now in here that were cut down. Okay, so these are going to all be in here. All right, so now we have the onions in there. So while the onions are going in here, I just added in this little dish 2 tablespoons of paprika, teaspoons rather, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And we're going to just take this, dump this right in here, and then stir all of this goodness up. All right, now we get to do the fun part, adding the bourbon, okay, which I pre-measured by Maker's Mark right into the pot. Okay, and don't worry about there being liquor in the recipe. All the alcohol will definitely burn off, and just doing a nice deglazing to these the little peppery and paprika onions. All right, so we're going to let these saute a little bit more while they deglaze. Continue here. All right, now comes the fun part. We get to add the short ribs to the sauteed in bourbon deglazed onions, and then after that we're going to add fresh beautiful thyme, and over here I do have my peeled garlic. Some of them turn a little brown, but that's all right. So now we're going to place these babies right on top of the onion mixture here. Okay, and then we're going to turn the Instapot off and put it on the pressure cooker mode, which I'll show you. Here we go. Another one. And we could add another one in here and move these around a little bit. All right. And we have this one here. All right, so there we go. We're getting all these babies in here. And now we're gonna put some of this garlic in here. Okay, throw in some garlic into that, and now some fresh sprigs of our thyme that will be also included in here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. Now we're going to turn this cancel. So that's going to be off while I kind of get this mixture all ready. I'm going to add a little bit of pinch of salt and then clean up the service area here. And then we're going to put the Instapot on and have that ready to get these babies done for tomorrow's big game. All right, so we're pretty much done at this point. I did add on top of the braised short ribs, I did add some beef stock. I'm too lazy to make my own. You can find recipes online. I just used an all-natural Swanson's beef stock. You can see I kind of squeezed the hell out of the bucket, the can there, the container, to get the last drops out. Add a little balsamic vinegar, tablespoon or so, a teaspoon of sugar in the mixture of all of that. And we are going to be covering this, turning this pot on for about 55 minutes to an hour, and then they'll be done. You can eat them today. You can make this the same day as the big game. I'm making it a day ahead of time, and then certainly these hold for quite a while. All right, so we're going to now get ready to finalize this baby. All right, so you can see now in here we have the ribs with the stock about covering them. There's a few of them that are not covered, but that's okay. They'll be fine. The Instapot's on off. We're going to get the cover here now. Put this cover on. Make sure the valve is on the sealed part. They're very important. And now we're going to put this on our pressure and have this pressure cook. And for here's the new machine, so I gotta just figure out where all the buttons are. Here we go. Now we have the pressure cooker set at 55 minutes. It's turned on, and it's really just to let this here do its magic while I clean all of this before my wife comes home. And again, just make sure that this is on the off, which it is. All right, so we'll come back in an hour or so when this is done and take a look at it when it naturally vents. So the Instapot's been on, timed at 55 minutes, going countdown. You can see we still have about 21 minutes left. And when this beeps and turns off, it will naturally vent for another half an hour. So we'll come back when it's ready, and I'll show you that process as well. Well, the Instapot has finished pressure cooking. It beeped, and you can see now here it is on the release, the low, so it's naturally venting 22 minutes. I'll probably let it go another 10 or 15 before I release it. and open the lid, and then we can take a look at the beautiful bourbon braised short ribs. All right, all right, all right. So we are at 41 minutes here. Since the ribs have been cooked in the pressure cooker for 51 minutes, we're just going to carefully release this release valve here, and pretty much that's it. All the steam is out. So we're going to open this and see what this looks like now. And there we are. Oh my God, this is steaming hot. This looks, I know we don't have smell-o-vision yet, but wow, this is gonna be served tomorrow. My wife's gonna make some nice greens, and we have game day bourbon braised short ribs. I can't wait. Thank you, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Till next time.